Department says a suspect is in custody as authorities investigate a murder earlier this afternoon. Today around noon, police say they responded to a home in the 900 block of Tanner Drive of reports of a gunshot victim. When they got there, police say they found a 31-year-old woman with gunshot wounds. Officers say the victim was taken to a local hospital where she later died. Police say after talking with witnesses there on the scene, they identified a suspect known to the victim and arrested them shortly after at a hotel nearby. Police say the identity of the suspect, their charges, and bond information will be released following a...
Shasmine grew up in Texas and had spent years in Copperas Cove. Neighbors said she was kind, kept to herself, and stayed far from trouble. She loved her family deeply. A mother of 5, she worked hard, never complained, and always focused on her children's safety and happiness. Money was tight, but Shasmine found a way to make it work. Her family called her generous, the kind of woman who'd share food or clothes even when she barely had enough for herself. She wasn't one for parties or going out. Most days she was home or walking her kids to the bus stop. Some people called her quiet. Others saw her strength, calm through hard times, steady no matter what came her way. Shasmine once had a relationship with Alonzo Hunter, the father of her youngest child. They'd been together for years, their story full of ups and downs, though they kept those details private. She had no criminal record, no fights, no problems at work or school. Shazman Klack poured everything she had into her family. Her life stayed off the radar, ordinary, peaceful, until everything turned upside down. When her name hit the news, people remembered her kindness. Friends shared photos, stories, and memories across social media. The shock spread fast. Many couldn't believe someone so good could be gone so suddenly. Don't forget to hit subscribe and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? What do you think as this story unfolds? Your thoughts matter. These are real people, real tragedies, and lessons we can't ignore. Share this with someone you care about. It could change everything. Welcome to Grave Kisses, where love rots, secrets scream, and the dead don't stay buried. Hit subscribe, like and share, if you're not afraid to dig a little deeper. February 1st, 2025, started like any other day in Copperas Cove. Tanner Drive, tucked near Anderson Avenue, was calm that morning. Kids were at school, adults were at work or home. The neighborhood was quiet, until gunfire split the air. They called police right away. Officers rushed to the address and found 31-year-old Shazman Klack bleeding on the ground. Paramedics worked fast, racing her to Advent Health Central Texas, but the wounds were too severe. She died soon after arriving. Police sealed off the area and began collecting evidence. Later that same day, they named 27-year-old Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter, someone close to Shasmine, as the suspect. Officers tracked him to a nearby hotel. He surrendered without a fight, charged with murder. He was booked into jail. The news hit the community like lightning. Word spread across social media in minutes. Shock rippled through Copperas Cove. No one expected a tragedy like this in their quiet neighborhood, especially involving faces they knew. By nightfall, the house was dark, the street taped off, the silence heavy. The house sat in silence. Yellow tape lined the street, fluttering in the wind. Neighbors watched from their windows, faces pale, some shaking their heads, others just staring. The block felt heavy, like time had stopped. News crews showed up fast. Shasmine's photo filled TV screens and social feeds. Reporters said the case was active, but police kept quiet. Her mother was gone and an investigation had begun. Detectives worked fast. Witnesses talked. Evidence started to point one way, toward Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter. He was no stranger to police. They tracked him down to a hotel nearby. He didn't fight. Officers cuffed him and led him out as cameras flashed. He kept his head down, saying nothing, ignoring every question thrown his way. The next day, Copperas Cove police made it official. They named Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter as the suspect and charged him with murder. His bond was set at $500,000, high enough to keep him behind bars unless someone paid it. Investigators searched his hotel room and car, hunting for clues. They talked to people who knew him and Shasmine, piecing together what happened. They said the evidence was strong. The case moved to the district attorney's office, where prosecutors began building their argument. Detectives kept at it, combing through every file, every photo, every call. The town buzzed with talk. Local news pushed updates non-stop, and social media couldn't look away. Some whispered about what might have happened. Others said nothing at all. By the end of the week, Alonzo was still in jail, and police handed the case to the courts. The legal wheels were in motion. News of Shasmine Clack's death hit her family like a storm. Relatives drove in from hours away, desperate to understand. Her sister Shasmine Klack spoke for everyone, her voice trembling on camera. "We never saw this coming," Chantal said. She told reporters how Shasmine always put her kids first, how she cared for everyone before herself. The family planned a memorial near her home, a balloon release under a soft Texas sky. Friends and neighbors came carrying pink balloons, candles and flowers. Photos of Shasmine lined the street. Children stood close to their parents, clutching flowers, some wearing shirts with her face. Others held signs that read "Justice for Shasmine." The moment was quiet but powerful. They launched a GoFundMe to help cover her funeral and support her kids. Donations came fast, not just from Copperas Cove, but from across Texas and beyond. Messages poured in, filled with love, sympathy and disbelief. Family members flooded social media with memories, photos, videos, holidays, birthdays, and simple moments that now felt like gold. As the court process began, the family stood together. They showed up at every hearing. They kept her kids close. They refused to let her name fade. Meanwhile, detectives returned to the Tanner Drive house. They went room by room, photographing, marking evidence. Inside, signs of a struggle stood out. Things knocked over, a phone shattered on the floor. Every detail mattered. Near the back door, officers found a single shell casing, the proof of where the gun went off. It lay on the floor, quiet but telling. Detectives studied security footage from nearby houses, catching faint movements on the street, shadows before and after the shooting. Each frame revealed more. The video helped track Alonzo Hunter's car, showing exactly when he arrived and when he left. At the hotel where Alonzo was arrested, more evidence waited. Detectives searched the room, pulling a bag, a change of clothes and a cell phone. Each item went into the case file, marked and sealed. They believed these could show what Alonzo did before and after the shooting, where he went, who he talked to, what he planned. Forensics moved fast. Teams dusted for prints, tested DNA, and sent samples to the lab to build a clean timeline. Investigators dug into phone records and online history, checking messages, calls, and social media to understand what triggered it all. The work was quiet but relentless. Each clue tightened the case. Every finding went straight to the district attorney. After Alonzo Ezekiel Hunter was charged, he stayed behind bars while court dates were arranged. Paperwork piled up. Both sides, defense and prosecution, prepared for a long fight. A judge reviewed the case, assigned Alonzo a public defender, and set strict rules for the trial. Prosecutors asked for the toughest sentence allowed under Texas law. They also demanded no contact between Alonzo and Shazman's family. Early hearings confirmed what detectives had built. The judge agreed the evidence was solid and allowed the case to move forward. Deadlines were set. More motions were filed. Lawyers began shaping their arguments, piece by piece. Shazman's family sat through every session. They said nothing. No outbursts, no noise, just quiet strength. Some hearings stayed closed to the public, and reporters could only release official court summaries. Local news followed closely, but details stayed tight. The trial hasn't started yet. Experts say it could still be months away. Both sides are digging deep, reviewing evidence, talking to witnesses, preparing testimony. The court hasn't released anything beyond public records, leaving the final outcome unknown. The investigation continues. Detectives keep chasing leads and feeding new information to the prosecution. Meanwhile, Shazman's children are staying with close relatives. They keep their routines, school, homework, normalcy, as much as they can. The community has stepped in too. Neighbors bring food, churches donate clothes and school supplies. Small rallies pop up around town, keeping Shazman's name in the light. Volunteers handed out flyers, posts went online, people shared her story over and over. Organizers promised to keep Shazman's memory alive and the legal process moving. The district attorney's office worked tirelessly. They prepared expert testimony, collected records, built a courtroom presentation designed to hold up under scrutiny. Court staff readied for a multi-day trial once a date was set. Lawyers warned the public. Stop spreading unverified rumors online, they said. Misinformation could ruin the trial. Some posts were removed at the legal team's request. Alonzo, the accused, had not entered a plea. He remained in jail under strict conditions. The next steps depended on early court reviews. Shazman's name lived on. Online tributes, community updates, whispered memories. Her family promised to stay engaged through the legal process, navigating life without her. Shasmine Clack's story was now tied to a case, but her life, quiet strength, devotion, daily care had already left a mark. Her loss rippled far beyond her home. Those who knew her carried memories of someone gone. Her absence reshaped her kids' lives. It reshaped the town. For many, it was a harsh reminder of how fast life can change. Conversations about safety grew. Support centers received more calls. People learned how to report concerns. Shazman's story surfaced in quiet chats, flyers and school discussions. Her kids' schools stepped up, offering stability and care. Teachers gave small gestures of kindness. Volunteers helped with rides, lunches, tutoring. Her name lived on, in news reports, social media, court records, etched into memory. Newcomers might not know her full story, but her photo lingered in church halls. Her name echoed in support groups. Even after the obituary faded, a piece of Shazman remained. Though the courtroom case continued, her family navigated life without her. Her name now carried weight far beyond one person. Her story touched homes near and far. Though her life ended abruptly, her impact lived on in those who loved her most. Local groups quietly acted. Donations in her name provided shelter, food, essentials for women and children in need. The efforts were low-key but growing. Online tributes continued, messages posted on birthdays, holidays, family milestones. Her kids received the messages from relatives, friends, even strangers. They didn't erase the pain, but they showed the world cared. Some community members began private gatherings, sharing stories like hers in safe spaces, away from the headlines. A quiet movement of compassion took root. School staff and counselors watched her children closely. They tracked grades, challenges, healing. Every small step forward offered hope. Loved ones preserved Shazman's belongings, notebooks, clothes, family photos, keeping her warmth alive for her kids. Her name might fade from the news, but her spirit lingered in memories, in lessons, in choices her story inspired. At the Grave Kisses TV, we uncover hidden truths, honor forgotten voices, and keep memories alive. If Shazman's story made you pause, think, or feel, more intense cases are coming. Hit subscribe, tap like, turn on notifications. New stories arrive regularly. The next one will give you chills. Before you go, share in the comments what moment hit you hardest. Your voice keeps these stories alive. Stay alert, stay curious, keep seeking the truth. Every life deserves to be heard.